it lunchtime yet?
Welcome to Lunch Hour Gamers. My name is Alex.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Jose.
Today we're going to look at the top 10 games we've played this last year. And in conjunction with that, we're going to do a combined list. So each of our individual lists we're going to combine together and see which game ranks supreme, and more importantly, which of us made the best list. So before we jump into the list, though, I want to talk about a few things. Number one, I want to ask you guys what makes a Lunch Hour game. And number two, I want to talk about what you were thinking about when you made your list. And then number three, I want to talk about the mechanics on this combined list thing. So yeah, to you guys first, what is a Lunch Hour game, and what makes something possible to hit our table?
Yeah, I think the easiest point to make is if it fits within that 12-to-1 lunch hour.
Sure.
Typically included with that would probably be to teach as well.
Yeah.
So we've got a group of 6 that we play with most of the time, and there's usually about a 5 to 10 minute buffer period where you've got to teach a new game, and then you can fit that extra 50 minutes to actually play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main point.
Yeah, I would agree. Along with that, probably something that is good for the crowd. I know there's a variety of tastes, but something that we could play over and over, maybe the same game multiple times in a week versus just once in a while.
Yeah, we really do have a diverse group. That's kind of intriguing to see. And I think even between us, I'm interested to see where our lists hit. So yeah, on that point, actually, because there's a differing and diverse group that we play with, there's a lot of different games that we've played. So how do you actually combine or compare these games? We've played, I think we've close to 50 different games this last year. How do you compare a party game versus a strategy game or something like that? What were you guys thinking?
I mean, I think bottom line, they're games, right? Meant to be played. So to me, it ultimately came down to which one I would most likely like to play myself. Kind of disregarding the opinions of others, but what do I want to play, because it is the game that I'm going to enjoy. So that was ultimately what my deciding factor was.
Okay, sweet. Sean?
Yep. So I'd say with my list, I tended to push more towards the 3 to 4 player games. I guess a little sneak peek on that. I found those to have a little bit more strategy involved. Those are kind of the games I am attracted towards. But with that being said, we play a lot of 5 to 6 player games that could be considered party games, but for my list specifically, I kind of narrowed in on that 3 to 4 player range.
Okay. We use technically, or specifically, we use the Pub Meeple ranking tool, so shout out to them. So we basically made a Board Game Geek account, and then we added up all of the games that we had in there as games that we owned, and with that Pub Meeple ranking engine, we were able to bring in all those games, and then from the almost 50 games, we had 200 different head-to-head comparisons. When I did it, I just went as quickly as I could. So I went, what does my gut say, this game or this game? I kind of had an idea of what would be my top games, and I actually, you said you twisted a little bit at the end today?
I manually made a list first, then we did the Pub Meeple. Again, I tried to go quick, but there were some times where I probably took a few minutes to overthink the choice.
Sure.
They gave me that list, and then I did kind of manually adjust it to what I think made sense.
Yeah. I've seen top 10 lists where they say, somebody has said that they take the game at its ideal player count number and its ideal setting, which I really appreciated, and I think kind of plays into at least one of the games that I picked in our top 10. So, this is all live. We have not seen each other's lists, so I'm very interested to see what you guys have. Mechanically for this top 10 list, I haven't really seen this done before, but at least for myself, when I'm watching other top 10 videos, this is how I kind of like to look for other games, because I see games that are consistently at least mentioned between other reviewers, and to me that hits harder for me, and it has me more interested to go look it up. So yeah, to me, what we're going to do is we got a little Excel sheet, and we'll edit this in, but each time we mention a game, we're going to add a number to that. So if somebody gives it a number 10, that's going to give them 1 point, all the way up to number 1, giving it 10 points. And then as you see this list come out, then we'll see this kind of shuffling of the top 10 list of this combined list. And then on top of that, every game then has an associated number to it, so that total number. So each of our lists will have a number associated to it, and one of us will be the supreme on that. So everything's got to be a game on this. We'll put timestamps on everything. You think it'll be close?
I think so.
I don't know.
I don't think I'm gonna win, honestly, because I don't have a. I'm interested to see where this comes out.
Stretch your games pretty wide.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we'll put timestamps in. But I think we just jump into it.
Yep.
Thoughts?
So.
Let's go left. I guess on my end, right to left. You want to start us?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right. So, number 10 on my list. I will say I pivoted just this morning.
Okay.
So this is a freshly entered game. So number 10 on my list, I went with Splendor.
Nice.
So
Splendor regular or
yeah, so that's where I kind
Splendor
of
regular or Marvel?
I think I'm gonna lean towards regular.
Okay.
Or original, just by a hair. It was close.
Okay. Talk it out.
So for those of you who haven't played Splendor, basically you're collecting gems. You're gonna purchase cards and create. It's an engine building game, so you'll get more cards as the game progresses, eventually trying to get 15 points total to win that game. Honestly, I love a good engine building game.
Yeah.
So I had to at least put one on my list. I think I've got a few as we go through, but this kind of hit right at number 10. Again, there was between that and I'll say Pandemic was the other one. I kind of swapped at the last minute. I think that also fits better within a lunch hour. So with Splendor, you can fit about 2 games in, which was a bit of a factor on my list of being able to play at least a couple times.
Yeah.
There's a few on there that you can only fit in once, but I think that was the big point. And then there's a lot more strategy involved in Splendor than you really think looking just at a surface level.
I don't want to spoil either myself or Jose's, but I'd be curious for you to talk about the difference between the Marvel, because we played both.
Yep.
And so you said, yeah. Why Marvel, unless Marvel comes up later in your list?
No, I think I went original. I love Marvel. I love the theme. The piece with, so in Marvel's Splendor Marvel, there's the Avengers aspect. So if you have a certain amount of Avengers, there's this one, I think it's a 3-point card that you get.
Yeah.
That piece is the thing
around.
that doesn't kill me. It doesn't kill the game, but I've struggled with that as we've played. I seem to not focus in on that piece, and that's probably just to your
detriment.
Issue. Yeah, it hurts me.
Yeah, you lose.
So I pulled it off the list.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, and then I guess the downside to Splendor is the theme's a little weak.
Sure.
So that's probably why it's number 10. It's at the end, bottom of that list. So
number 10, Splendor.
There's number 10.
Okay. My number 10. Interesting that you mentioned that your 10 was Pandemic, because my number 10 is Pandemic.
Oh man,
we might have some crossovers on this list. Yeah, go ahead and put mine in. So Pandemic, and I feel like again these top 10 lists, we've only played, let's say, 50 different games, so they're going to be pretty. We only play games that I think are going to be pretty well known amongst the industry as a whole, the board game industry. Pandemic was, what was that? I wrote it down. So it was an 2009 game. It was a nominee for the Spiel des Jahres when it came out, but it's kind of known as the cooperative granddaddy of games. So we're, as a group, working together against this puzzle. The board is a big world map with a bunch of cities out there, and there's cubes that keep piling on, and as a group with your special ability, you've got to start taking these cubes off and eventually try to cure these diseases. And there's 3 different ways you can lose. You can have too many outbreaks, or you run out of cubes, you run out of cards, whatever it may be. For me, the puzzle was, actually, I hadn't really played Pandemic, honestly, too much prior to the Lunch Hour Gamers. I've been familiar with his, so Matt Leacock is the designer, so the Forbidden series, so Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, I really enjoy those. I played those a lot more with my family. I hadn't really busted out Pandemic, and there's a ton of variations. There's a bunch of different options in there. But I was kind of into the board game hobby just after this kind of hit really hard. So I didn't really get this to the table a bunch. And with this group, I did. Did you ever play with us?
Which one?
Pandemic?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Nope. Yeah, there was a couple weeks where we played 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, we've had a few other people in the group.
It's just perfect. It's just difficult enough to where we lost a couple times, but when you were done, you had that satisfying, man, I bet we could have had that that
turned
that
it.
efficiency
Yeah.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it made you think about it, made you keep coming back to it, and made you want to play again. So for me, yeah, Pandemic, the puzzle, cooperative game. I like cooperative games in general. I know that doesn't hit with a lot of our some of our members are much more cutthroaty. They want to be able to beat each other. I like a good, pleasant, cooperative game where everybody gets along. So, but the tension, again, I could dote on all of these games, talk too much about it, but to me, the tension is what I think about when I think about Pandemic. Is that I don't know, if this city turns, like we're probably screwed. I don't know. Okay, well, we're not screwed, but we're not looking good, and so we could do this. I think we've got this. So that tension that just keeps building up, every card flip. I really enjoy that.
Yep.
Yeah, my number 10, Pandemic.
Nice. Well, yeah, a little bit about my list. I treated it more of a, like you said, first instinct. I actually timed myself.
Did you really?
So that I could go, I set a timer to be able to get done within that. So it was that race against time and just instinct. And what I did notice that my top 10 list included a lot of games that maybe we haven't played recently.
Sure.
That desire to play those. So coming in at my top 10 is Blue Lagoon.
Nice. All right.
I know we've played that a couple times, and I just like the puzzle aspect of it, the turns of having to plan ahead. So that kind of speaks to the games that I enjoy, but very strategy driven games. There's obviously a little bit of competition with that as well, but it's definitely one we haven't played in a while, and I've been itching to get my hands on some more Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, so simple.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's fun, and
Excellent. I love it. Yep. I should have mentioned at the beginning when we were talking about the mechanics of this, because as of now, we got 3 top 10s. They each have 1 point. The tiebreaker is going to be the Board Game Geek rating. So right now we've got Pandemic in the lead, which is the correct choice. But that is the lead. That is the lead, and that is the Board Game Geek is going to what puts that to the top. So yeah, there you go.
Good to know. All right, on to number 9.
Number 9, let's do it.
Number 9, I'm sure this will be, I see this be on everyone's list, but number 9, I've got Citadels.
Okay.
So, card game where you're trying to build a city. The first person to, I think, build 8 different city cards will end the game, and then there's different scoring conditions that you got as you play. I think particularly for our group, it is a very interactive game. There's a lot of cutthroatness. We've got the version that has a bunch of different, so the player cards are 1 through 8. They all have different player abilities, and I've got the box that has, I think, 3 different variations of each number, so you can kind of mix and match as you please. And just, the cutthroatness of Citadels, killing someone off or stealing their money has really hit well with this group. Another piece, I guess, on my list is I did push for, I think at least half my games are pretty interactive. I think that makes a nice game as well. So we're all kind of talking back and forth. There's some crap talking at always.
Man, when you have that turn that you get killed and then the next turn you're assassinated, or it's just man,
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's so tough.
I love it.
Yeah, and so does some members of our crew.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great.
I do want to point out though that ability with your version, I don't remember what year that came out, but the original version that I introduced the group to, I played that so many times and it almost got samey to me. Your version with the newer stuff really breathed new life for me, at least into it. So I really liked that aspect.
The fact that basically 3 different main variations, and then again, I think you can just pick and choose what you want. So we haven't done that piece yet, but great game. Cool.
All right, awesome. Number 9. My number 9, crossover number 1. Oh, we didn't put yours in there. The Citadels. My first one, my number 9 is Splendor, and I did regular Splendor as well. So this was a 2014, like you said. It's a set collection. You're collecting tokens, building this engine. For me, I'm gonna kind of hit back to what you had said. What games you enjoy playing? I really enjoy playing Splendor, and probably because I'm very good at it. I don't want to play But my wife
you
and
tend
I
to win a lot of those.
Yeah, and I almost feel bad about like suggesting games like Dominion, the Dominion base game. Like I've played that so many times.
Yeah.
I know, and I'm not there yet with Splendor, but I've played that so many times with my wife, especially because my wife loves that game.
Yep.
But I've played it so many times that it's like I know the flow. I can kind of gauge what other people are doing, and everybody likes to win. So it's like I like that. It's so quick. I really liked the Marvel one, and this is a game. It's so interesting. You read stuff online, and people love to hate this game. I really don't care. I like playing it. I have had so much success introducing this to family and introducing this to games that are or people that are not like hardcore gamers. And it's a great. I also wanted to mention this at the beginning though. These games are all kind of filler games, or at some point in the industry they called these gateway games, and they've kind of changed the nomenclature to call these family weight games, but I think is the perfect denotion here, because it is. This is games that I'm going to bring to my family. Splendor with my family has hit really well. We play it all the time. I don't want to echo everything that you said, but first crossover, Splendor.
Yep. Awesome.
Nice. I'll keep my notes concise on that because there's stuff to come.
Okay.
My number 9 is Schotten Totten.
Nice.
So I'm a sucker for 2-player games. I love the competitiveness of it, very much so. And honestly, I had never heard of this until I was introduced here at the Lunch Hour Gamers, and ever since
You find it.
I've just really enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, there's in terms of the gameplay. Maybe you can speak a little better to it.
Sure. So, had you played Battle Line? Or have you played Battle Line yet?
It's an adaptation of Battle Line's the original, right?
Yep. Yeah. So Reiner Knizia is the designer, but yeah, that's his. I think it's Yellow Games is the publisher. But yeah, it's another one that's again fit. Most of the games I'm introducing you has all been with families, but yeah, it's this tension of you're trying to win these stones and you're playing almost like poker type hands.
Exactly.
So you have like 6 cards you play, and which of these stones do each other win? So yeah.
Lost the sword button.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out as we go.
Jose, you got your list?
Yeah, but I haven't been keeping it up.
Shoot. What happened to it?
Yeah, I'll figure it out as we go.
So this list may come out after the fact. Or as we're talking.
And I'd love to react to it, so we'll kind of...
Here, if you want to play with it, I can...
Yep.
Sorry, are you good with
Did you have any other...
Yeah, no other
Okay.
comments.
We'll keep removing too, because there is a small time crunch.
We have to do this in the
Lunch hour.
In the lunch hour.
So number 8 for me, I've got At Azul.
Nice. Okay.
We've not broken it out as much as I'd like to, but I've played it on Board Game Arena quite a bit as well.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
For whatever reason, it scratches that itch. So Azul, there's tiles in the middle of the table. You're pulling specific tiles and putting them on your player board that will then go onto a 5x5 grid. That's the short way to explain it. There's more detail in that, but I find that game again, for being just tiles in the middle of a table, it's fairly interactive. You're kind of fighting each other for specific colors. It can get, again, fairly cutthroat, kind of blocking. Oh, Alex really wants these red tiles, so just to spite him, I'm gonna take those, and then that can kind of screw up completing rows that then have to go over to that 5x5 grid. So you can screw people over, which in turn causes them to take tiles that will go to what Azul calls the floor, and you'll get basically penalty points for however many you have on that floor. Just another good interactive kind of cutthroat game that you can fit about 2 games in a lunch hour, so that's nice too. So if you get absolutely destroyed, you can get another go at it before it's all over.
Yeah, I actually haven't gotten to play Azul.
You haven't played Azul at all?
No.
Seriously?
No.
Whoa!
We'll get that in front of Jose this year.
That wasn't even on my list.
Dang.
Oh man. Yep. We'll get that to you.
You said one more time, Jose. You're number 10. We're getting this back up.
Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. You said Blue Lagoon. There it is. Number 10. Okay. Let's see. Update. Okay.
There we go.
Splendor, number 1. Azul, number 2. Scott and Totten, Pandemic, and Blue Lagoon. Fantastic.
Oh, actually.
Oh, wait. I missed your up?
Yep.
Yours is, Azul was number 8.
Yep.
Okay, hit that.
I'll adjust that.
Okay, sorry.
Yep, you're good.
What was your number 9?
Citadels.
Citadels, that's right. Sorry.
Nope, you're good.
I gotta see this.
The overplayed game I would call.
The Citadels, we have played it a lot.
That's why it's a little lower. Sure. Yep.
Sure. Okay, Azul, still number 1. Splendor, Scott and Totten. Fantastic.
That'll change.
That'll change. It'll change. That's what it's supposed to do. Okay. You just did 8. My number 8. My number 8 is Skull. It's a betting game. Skull is a game that, okay, so the way it works, you've got, everybody has 4 coasters, 3 of them are flowers, 1 of them is a skull. There's 2 phases. The first phase, people are adding to their pile of coasters, and eventually somebody triggers the second phase where they start betting. You're betting on how many flowers you can flip over, with the twist being that you have to first flip all of yours over. So the bluffing comes into, you got this stack of 3 coasters, and you're betting, I can flip over 7. When you know darn well that first one is a skull, and you're just trying to bet. You're trying to get. Come on, Sean. You can get this. You can flip this over. I'm going 7. You don't want to go 8. It's fantastic. For me, Skull is it's a game that there's a few games in my list, or just in general, that it really depends on the group that you're playing with. And for me, man, Skull has absolutely sung with our group, and it's because of the personalities. For sure. Man, I remember it was one of my favorite experiences. Actually, we were in it for a few months, but we were playing a game of Skull, and the front desk lady came in, opened the door, like, what is going on? Like, can we join? Like, this sounds like fun. It was a blast in here. Because there was literally stand-up moments. It's like, it was the last one, you pulled the skull. Why would you go Phil? You never go Phil. You know he has a skull. It's just so exciting. Like, like, for me, that experience was exactly what board games can do with a group of people, is this interaction, this framework around which this group just comes together, has an absolute blast. And you think about it, and like, I think everybody went back into our Teams chat and said, guys, thanks. Like, that was one of my favorite times ever, because for me, that's kind of what propels this into this this top 10 in this specific spot for me, because Skull, again, it sometimes hits. When it doesn't, it's kind of a flop with the game group, but man, with this group, it is a great one to go to, and it's worked out really well. I think it's almost like the first couple, because there can be some rounds where it doesn't really hit well, but man, if your first couple work out and everybody can kind of see what the mechanics are and how the game can flesh out, if those go well the first couple rounds, then I think that's usually what triggers it to go well. But yeah, anyway, Skull, number 7.
Great game.
It's 8. Number 8. Ooh, careful.
Skull's great, but for me, number 8, recently played Machikoro 2.
Yes, sir.
So my first introduction was about a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
It resembled a lot to me like Catan. Very luck-based with the dice rolling, yet you can still have some strategy to it, and still be kind of, mean to the players based on the rules and what you can do with it. And I think that one hit home for me just because my gateway game was Catan. And so seeing that in a card game version was very nice. I did win first go, so
Yep, that helped.
You win everything. It's so frustrating. We don't need him to play Azul.
So, no, overall, I loved it. I want to play it again, explore more of the cards, figure out more strategy.
It's so quick too.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so fluid. You get into it and you're playing, and it's so easy to say, even once it's set up. That's one of the things that you'd mentioned about playing it multiple times. Once it's set up,
let's go.
Yeah, let's play. We've got 10 minutes. We can do it again.
Fast.
So good.
It's great.
Yeah.
And also with our group, it's nice with the interaction.
Oh man, the cutthroat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, pass me those 2 coins. I rolled this. Give me all of your coins.
Exactly.
Man, it's great.
All right.
Well,
number 7.
I won't say too much because my number 7 is Machikoro 2. Nice. I think I'd agree with Jose. It's the interaction piece is great. The other piece with Machikoro 2, I've got kind of 2 points that Jose didn't hit on is it kind of fixed the original Machi Koro. So I've heard it takes about an hour and a half to play an original Machi Koro game,
not our game.
which sticks around about 30 minutes too long, just based off what I've been hearing. So that piece is nice. And then the only downside to Machi Koro is it appears that the person that goes first is gonna win the game.
That's happened
most of the time. That's happened. We've played, I think, 7 times. It's happened 6 out of the 7 times.
Yeah,
I'm working on a house rule.
I'm interested to play last.
Yeah.
So just to see if you can.
I want to win when I'm not first.
So I do have a house rule that I want to test out with my wife before I bring it here. But I think essentially, rather than you starting with 3 cards, you'll start with 2.
Okay.
And see if that is just terribly adjusted, or if that
you see that common with games where the first player has an advantage is you kind of stagger that to kind of even it out.
And there's nothing here, and it just ends directly, right?
Once you build that third landmark.
See, that's one of the things I like about Splendor is that at least it finishes.
You get that
full
extra round to kind of
interesting. I'll be interested to try the twist you got.
We'll see if it works.
Okay, my number 7. I have Santorini.
Number 7.
Number 7.
That's pretty low.
That means we're going to be hearing about this later.
You might.
Yeah, Santorini is great. It's I think you can actually play it with 4, but everybody only plays it with 2. It's a 1v1. You play on I think it's a 5x5 grid. Maybe it's
5x5.
5x5 grid. You've got 2 characters, and you're moving and you're building. And what's great about this, the visual is fantastic because you have these towers that you're building of 3 to 4 with a cap, so 3 sections with a cap that you're building. The goal is try to get to the top level of one of the towers, so onto that 3rd level. So you're moving, building, and what really is fascinating is this is the original, by the way, because we have played the New York version. And
that one was a contender on my list, but
really,
it adapts to group play a little better.
Yeah, obviously.
I do like.
Yeah, and it's fascinating with that one. Your ability is different each turn potentially. To me, that we had a little. To me, New York has a little bit of the luck factor, where if you have that that high
card that you hold until you're ready to win.
Exactly, and it's tough to overcome that. Yep. For me, I am not good. So this almost goes exactly opposite of what I said with Splendor. For Splendor, I love to play because I like to win. Santorini, I am not great at it, but I'm okay not winning at Santorini because I enjoy it. I enjoy the puzzle. I'm thinking a couple turns at a time. I love the experience where you're like, oh, I got this. There's no way they're out of this. I got this. I'm gonna put this here, and I go, ooh, you did that? Okay. Well, exactly. Yeah. Or the realization. That's what it is. It's the realization. It's like, okay, I got a couple turns, and I can't. Yeah, I can't. I have no moves left. But with this game, the variation in player ability. So you can play base, which is no powers. Which, again, I love this group because my wife didn't really play this game much, and I could finally play with people that would explore this game deeper than with me. So you can play with a power 2 that twists it just a little bit. You can move, however many times you want to, or it changes the win condition. Whatever it is, there's this little twist to the game that gives you a power that feels way too powerful, but then it's combated on how you do it. We kind of did a little bit of a house rule where you pick like 4 cards, and then one person picks one power, the other person picks the other power. So from that, anyway, I've really enjoyed Santorini, and I'm excited. Did you see that? I'll be looking. I'm excited to see, and I want to get better at this game. It's a game that maybe that's why it's on there, is because I want to play it more. Every time I play, I feel like I'm getting better. Nope, I still stink. I'm going to lose again. But that's okay. I enjoy the process of learning with that game.
For sure.
Number 7.
Yeah, we'll revisit that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Number 7, Dominion Intrigue.
Ooh.
So even though I get my butt kicked every time, because we do have kind of a shark with the Dominion game, I thoroughly enjoy it because of the card building aspect of it, the deck building aspect of Dominion. And growing up, I was a huge Pokemon card trading or Yu-Gi-Oh card trading game, and this has that feel to it, and I very much enjoy it. Still learning it. That's probably why it's down there in the lower ranks, but one day I'll beat you, Alex.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's
Good
the goal,
luck.
right?
You probably have better chance at Intrigue. 'Cause I probably need to buy that because I think we were playing Grant's copy of
were
Intrigue.
playing Grant's,
Yeah,
yeah.
Grant's he's not in this office. He's still with our company, but I probably just need to buy Intrigue because I enjoy that game enough that I could justify that. So anyway,
And that's why I was intrigued and not Dominion up there, because I
Yeah.
had no chance at Dominion.
yes,
That one
feel bad. I feel bad. I want to. Yeah. We'll put in that edit there because we don't know what we're doing. This is the first go.
First
doing
go.
it live. We're figuring it out. All right.
I was actually
You doing it live?
Backstory.
Just do it live.
That was back in college. I was like, hey, did you study for that presentation? Did you prepare? Nah, man, we're doing it live.
Doing it live.
That's the way the real world works.
It is, man. Amen. Okay, we're at number 6.
Number 6.
All right.
So I've got Ticket to Ride, specifically the kind of smaller box London version.
The London. Okay.
Yep. London version. So for those of you who haven't played Ticket to Ride, I'm surprised you're watching this video,
Yeah.
but Ticket to Ride, small version is basically just a condensed version of it that you can fit within about 30 minutes. You're gathering colored, in London it's bus cards, and then you're playing those. Let's say you play 3 green bus cards, you place 3 buses on that route, score points accordingly. And then each player has some secret routes that they're trying to achieve that give you additional points. So we've played this probably, 4 or 5 times in the past few months.
Yeah.
Every time I've played, so I played the original Ticket to Ride and thought, wow, I don't want to spend 3 hours just placing trains on a map. So this is just a perfect little condensed version of it where you're still getting that same experience. I mean, it's basically the same game, just smaller. Again, it's real interactive, which I think is pretty much every game I have on my list at this point now I'm thinking about it. And then on top of that, just again, the cutthroatness, you can kind of see, Alex is really trying to get to, I don't know the locations very well, but trying to get to this certain spot, so I'm just gonna block her out just to block it.
Yeah.
And then now he has to take this whole other route to get there. So.
I remember you barely got one of yours.
Yes.
Did you end up winning that game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were big.
Yeah. And you somehow
Big swings.
got it.
Yeah. You got to work around.
I was really surprised with this one. I'm with you. I really like the smaller versions better. But I was really surprised at how much different London was from New York. Because I had New York for the longest time.
Yeah.
I brought in London because I think I had it as like a Christmas present or something. But man, it was so different. And especially with like there was multiple 4 routes than just in New York where there was just one. And that's a huge swing.
So it felt a little more equal. If you miss out on the 4 route in New York,
you probably
not to say you're going to lose, but it's going to be a little harder to win.
Yeah.
In this case, you've got, I think, 2 or 3 different options.
I just saw that they had a San Francisco. I think Drew even has that one now.
I actually have it too.
You have it?
I've played it with my wife.
Okay.
It incorporates some tourist tokens.
Okay.
Just another way to score points, which I enjoy. I think London's a little bit better. So rather than picking 3 separate ones,
Sure.
I just went with one.
Yep, that makes sense.
London was the winner out of the
See, a funny story about that. Over Christmas, my girlfriend got, her and her family got the San Francisco one.
Okay.
Yep.
And they had a horrible experience because they couldn't figure out how to play. They sat there.
The tokens are a little confusing. I had to.
They sat there forever trying to figure it out, and I was like, "You can't tell me that. It's Ticket to Ride. It's one of the simplest games you can play.
It is very beloved. It's another one that has tons of versions.
So been trying to get her to play with me. So we'll see.
Just get one good experience in, and then
Yes.
you'll get them hooked.
Okay, that was your number 6.
Yep,
My number
number
6, Tiny Towns. Tiny Towns.
Tiny
I don't know if this will hit your guys' list. I really enjoy this one. Probably because I saw this. It was on my interest list, but this is one of the first ones that you introduced me to because I got you hooked. I got you on the board game bandwagon, and so you started buying board games. I love it. And one of the things I love is you started going your own direction. Oh, this looks like this would be a good game.
Yep.
And I was pleasantly surprised. I'd seen it. I kind of dismissed it when I first saw it. Not necessarily dismissed it. I think it came out, when was it? I put it down. It came out in 19. So this was starting to get to the point in my hobby career, whatever, that I stopped buying all the games, and so this one was an easy one to say no, I don't think I'm going to need it.
Yep.
The way you play though, it's a is it a 5x, or
It's
5x5 grid. You're taking cubes from the center that somebody calls out on your turn. You're calling out one of the colored cubes and you're putting it onto this 5x5 grid with the goal of building one of the available patterns that will give you a structure, and then that structure you're going to put on one of those cubed spaces that you made that building on. So it becomes basically a puzzle. I'm going to build this building with these cubes, and he wants a yellow. Okay, I guess this yellow is going to go over here. I'm going to start playing this over here. So it's this puzzle entwined, but also optimization of points, as well as kind of screwing other people, but also reacting to what other people are saying. But yeah, this kind of I love the variability. You mentioned I guess I'll say something about this later on a different game, but games that give just slight variation on the base game, I really appreciate. So you have the base tiny towns, but then you can switch those buildings up to give you different patterns, to give you different scoring conditions, and that variability I love, and I want to get this game to the table more frequently because the player count, the variability. I don't think we've played too much smaller player counts and bigger player counts. I know I'm interested to see how the dynamics play with different player counts.
I played over the Christmas break with my wife, 2 players. Our scores we destroyed your high score.
Really?
I'll say that because we were working towards similar objectives.
Dang.
We were almost helping each other, not trying to. But so 2 players, I think, is a little. It's almost like the
weighted
easy mode
differently. Okay, that makes sense.
Gotcha. So.
Cool. Yeah, Tiny Towns, my number 6.
Yep, great one.
Number 6 for me would be Unmatched Cobble and Fog.
All right, let's go.
So this one I got introduced by Sean. Kind of a role-playing game of sorts. There's different characters, and I think that's one of the huge things that got me is, the mythology or these legendary creatures or people that you get to embody and then try and, defeat and beat other people. The competitive nature of it again for me, and just exploring the different abilities. I think we played once with
we had Sherlock and Watson was a team, and then Dracula and the 3 sisters were another team.
And I remember playing that, and man, I had so much fun. It's almost like you're playing a video game on a board game, and I'm very much a video game type of person, and then getting to see it on the board at work, for a nice break. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
And the thematic of it, you could have so many different things out there.
1,000 expansions too.
Really?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I love. It's on my Amazon wish list.
Is it?
So
Nice. This is on my game to play list on 23 because I have not played this.
Oh, you
yet.
haven't?
Nope.
Played?
This is
awesome.
my Azul for you. Like I need to play this game.
Yes,
and
We're getting it out. I got more people now too.
Yes.
I went in.
Excellent. How many do you have now?
I've got basically 8 different people we can choose from now.
Okay, I'm hoping it's higher on your list then. We'll see. We'll put that no comment. Okay, where we're at now, we have Machikoro 2, Unmatched, Tiny Towns, Ticket to Ride, London, Dominion Intrigue, with Sean having the best list so far slightly.
We'll
Jose,
keep it that way.
and then we'll keep it that. All right, let's play number 5. Top 5.
Top 5, baby.
This is big swings now.
So I've got number 5, Jaipur.
Okay.
So this is a game Alex introduced to me, I think 3 or 4 months ago now. It's already hit my collection. I had to go and buy it pretty much the next day. It's a 2-player game, basically a resource management game, trying to collect certain resources and sell them at either 3 cards, 4 cards, or 5 cards for different bonus points, basically. And then there's some camels that are in the game that allow you to trade cards a little more easily. So it's, again, I keep saying it's a good interactive game, so there's a good back and forth of, it looks like Alex keeps grabbing all the red, I think the ruby cards.
Yeah.
But I've got 3 in my hand right now, so should I sell them now and not try to keep going?
Remind me, is this just a 2-player game?
Yeah,
it is 2-player.
2-player only. Yeah. I'm always surprised how close the games are. Like the scores, well, there are some games, I guess, but the majority of games that I play, they're so tight. I mean, it comes down to you won 1, I won 1. We're going into this last game because it's best 2 out of 3 typically. But it's always so tight and it's always so close, and it always, again, it clicks. It's one of those where you hear the rules, you kind of see the teach, and it's okay, yeah, we'll play. But once you start getting into the flow of the game, it just starts clicking. Okay, I want this. Obviously, I want this one. Okay, now I'm gonna get that. I love it.
Game.
Yeah,
and then there is some luck involved. So Alex mentioned there's best 2 out of 3 basically. So that does kind of mitigate some of that luck factor.
Yeah,
at least in one round.
To me, the camels is really what makes that system, that mechanic, fascinating. Because you can, when you take the camels, if you use the camels are 5 points at the end. Whoever has the most camels. Yeah, that dynamic with the camels is really to me what makes that puzzle interesting. All right, my number 5. What's not going to be on your guys's, I bet, is Voyages. I love Voyages, probably more than others. So in the board game industry, roll and rights or flip and rights were really popular for a moment. The concept where you roll some dice, or you flip a card, and then you fill out your card or your individual thing depending upon that result. In this game, you roll 3 dice. 1 dice result you determine for direction, and then so you're on like a hex map. And so you got, from this 1 point, you determine direction. Another dice is distance, and then another dice will affect something else, so duties or special powers you're trying to unlock, whatever. So I backed this one on Kickstarter because the game idea itself really fascinated me right away, and I of all the roll and write type games I played, this is fantastic. I like playing games with other people. I'm not a huge solo gamer, and so I didn't play Map 2 or any of the others until with this group. And man, when I played Marauders, which is map number 2, it just unlocked everything for me because it was so different than map number 1. So that's what I would highly recommend. So this is by Postmark Games. It's super cheap. I mean, it's a roll and write, so it's a print and play game. So it's like for $5. It was a great break from different Kickstarters too. You back it, and then literally a couple weeks later, it's in your inbox.
That's huge.
I'm not waiting a year to get a game. But yeah, so Voyages, roll and write, fantastic. I think there's 5 different maps. Map number 3, just skip altogether. I'm still nursing my wounds from that one because we played that one, right? It was the cold. It was you and me.
I like map 3.
It was cold. It was the cold, dark depths, man. That was rough. I think I rolled double multiple times, and when you roll double, you damage your ship and you take hit. That was rough for me.
We were playing risky.
Yeah, it was. But map 2 and then 4 and 5. The last I checked, they were actually making a map 6, which once you buy it, you have all the maps. Right. And I just have this whole binder with all the maps.
And actually, now that you mentioned that, one of the guys we play with, Colby, he bought it.
Did he really?
Yeah. So
good.
I think it's a good game.
Yeah. I would recommend it for anybody. One of the things I've learned from teaching it to other people, if you teach it, print a color version. I did a bunch of grayscale prints, but there's some subtle differences in the stuff that helps the teach. So printing it in color for the first teach. I don't yet have a laminator, but I'm going to get one and just laminate a bunch of these. So anyway, Voyages number 5.
My number 5, Tiny Towns.
Tiny Towns! Let's go! Knock Sean off of that. Number 1.
I didn't get that.
It'll be up top. It'll be up top.
No, for sure. I think we played it once. Was what, 1, 2, 3, 5, a 5-person game, and no, I love the aspect of it, like you said, the puzzle, the interaction, just the different things you could build. You have to, I mean, honestly, if you really want to be really good at the game, you have to have half the game in your head already.
Yes.
And then just adapting to what people do. That's my type of game.
Yep. You won that game you played, didn't you?
I believe so.
I think so. Jose usually comes.
But he didn't beat my top score. If I remember
That's right.
That's what it was.
no one's beating.
I think I was off by 1 or something. Yeah, no, it was close.
All right, top 10 so far, or top 5 so far. We got Tiny Towns, Machikoro 2, Jaipur, Voyages, and Unmatched. With now Jose in the lead for best game.
Tiny Towns kind of got me there. I should put it on the list.
Oh man.
All right.
Number 4.
I guarantee these next 4 probably everyone will have. I'll be surprised if we stray. So number 4 for me, I've got it, Cascadia. I wanted to bump it a little higher, but my next 3 just sung too much. So Cascadia, basically a tile / token laying game. So you're getting you start with a starting tile of I think 3 different tiles, and then your turn consists of grabbing a tile and an animal token that are placed in a row next to each other. It's just, honestly, it's a nice calm experience. You're playing with other people, but you can really play by yourself. There's not a whole lot of trying to screw someone over. There's maybe a little bit, but it's just a nice calm experience of grabbing a tile, trying to place it with the right habitat, and then putting the animal kind of where you want it. There's pine cones in the game that let you kind of pick a different tile with a different animal if that kind of suits your layout a little better. But scoring wise in that game, you're scoring off groups of habitats, and then there's 5 different animals that have different kind of scoring conditions based on how you put them on the tiles. Cascadia just a great
puzzle on a puzzle is where it's at.
Didn't it win an award?
Yeah, so it won the Spiel des Jahres last year. It was the first publicly, so it was a first Kickstarted game that was that won Spiel, which is awesome.
Yeah, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah,
if you haven't played it, go and play it.
Yeah, I love when games have the mechanic where you have points from something, but you can spend those points, you can sacrifice those points to help change your luck. So in Voyages did that a little bit. You can exhaust those sailors or those heroic sailors to change your thing. Same thing with Cascadia. You can spend these tokens to help give you a better thing. But by doing it, you're going to be sacrificing points. And there's that strategy of I'm just going to use all my tokens and then
That's
really
what
hinder yourself.
I typically do, and it doesn't usually work out. But
and I usually on that. I mean, we could say this. I'm sure it'll come up on other people's lists again. But I always suggest people when they start it to focus on that first layer of the puzzle, because the habitats, when you're comparing like scores, like because those games are so tight, it's usually whoever has the biggest of however many forest or mountain or river.
Because you do get some bonus points based off who has the largest. So
so if
that's a big
4-point swing.
The newer players, I say, focus on that habitat puzzle, because man, that really bumps people up. And I think when we played with Elsie, she did really well based on that.
Yeah, we gave her that advice, and she ran with it.
Awesome.
I'll be interested to see these top 4 or 5. My number 4 is Sushi Go Party. That was a...
Okay, didn't see that coming. Never mind.
See it coming. Okay. Sushi Go Party. It's a drafting game. If you're familiar with Seven Wonders, it's kind of the simplified version of that. Drafting is a mechanic where you've got a set number of cards. You pick one of the cards, you pass it, and now with this new hand, you're picking one of those cards. So it's you're drafting your selection and also collecting sets. What I liked about, so I had Sushi Go, the base for a while. Sushi Go Party expands it to be able to play up with 8 players, and drafting games usually can play a lot bigger players with no sacrifice on time or complexity there. But this set collection basically allows different cards to be input for each game. So I could play with the sashimi or the I'm not good with all of the names, or the eels or whatever. And you can vary the type of experience that you want depending upon what cards are out there. So you want a more cutthroat game? I think there's even one called Cutthroat Combo. And so we can have that cutthroat experience where we're taking points away. It's super easy. I almost want something different. I liked in the Sushi Go Party where you're seeing the scores each round. I liked that. They're a little fiddly with the pieces, and they're knocking around. I almost want something different than that. But the actual board itself, where you're pulling this together and you're playing the whole experience, I really enjoy. Sushi Go Party, again, a great thing for families as well. This is just, I could see Sushi Go Party going with any dynamic of any of the combination of groups that we have of these 5 or 6 people that we've got in our group. Anybody, and we could even add somebody, and I wouldn't be worried about adding or playing Sushi Go Party.
It adapts to the number of people very well.
Yes,
because
exactly.
you're just pulling cards out. So
exactly.
Great game.
Sushi Go Party.
Awesome. Number 4. I'm gonna butcher this, but Onitama.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yep.
So this is another 2-player game. Very much has a chess-like feel to it. So the basis of the game is you have 3 cards on is that a 5x5 as well?
I don't think I played this one.
You have. It's where you've got cards and you can only do 2 up and 1 to the right. It's
Onitama. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I was thinking of something that. Okay.
There's another
Yes,
game I have
I'm here.
that has a similar name.
Yes, I apologize.
3 cards,
I
5
think
by
it's
5.
I think it is 5 by 5.
Yeah.
So another 5
Yes.
by 5 game. You get 3 cards.
Perfect number.
Everyone gets, they're
Yeah.
the 2-player, 1 card, and then the third one kind of floats around, and you get to use it once. Once you use it, you have to pass it along, so it becomes that floating card, and so on and so forth. And I don't remember how many total different cards there are, but
So I got lucky. I bought it off Board Game Geek Market, and I got the expansion. So I have
Everything.
there's like 40 or 50 cards in there. So
which is, I mean,
it's
I
never
love
the
those
same
types of
game.
games that you have one set base,
Yeah.
and then you can mix it up, and you don't get bored. I mean, I
Yeah.
could sit there and play that with someone for hours.
Yep.
Have you and I played?
No, I
I don't think so. We gotta play. I'd be
Yeah.
intrigued.
I mean, it's
Focus
one
on
of those that
team
I can
play,
just see myself, carrying a backpack, going to a coffee shop with a friend,
Yeah.
sitting
Yeah.
down, getting coffee, and just
Yes.
playing.
Yes.
No, it's great. It's great here for lunch hour gamers. You can fit probably 4 games if you're quick about it in an hour. But yeah, the whole aspect of thinking ahead, trying to predict the moves of your opponent, and then just trying to catch them off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the couple. I want to add a couple things. Number one, I love the mechanic where you give your opponent how they beat you.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, I'm going to move this, I'll give this to you, and with what I just gave you, you are now going to beat me.
Yeah.
I love that mechanic. We started playing. Have you played with the timer yet?
No.
It makes a pretty big difference.
It's huge. I like it a lot because you could sit, and one of the things so the board game industry would call it analysis paralysis, where you just sit there and think, and it
Right.
just like draws on. So I bought a chess clock. It's now in my desk drawer. If you ever want to use it, feel free to. But I think we were playing 7-minute
We
games or
played
5-minute
like
games.
5 or 6 games in a lunch hour.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to town.
So it forces you to move because either you lose by the mechanics or you lose because of time. So you want to have enough time and you keep going. I liked that addition a lot.
How much did you guys do per turn, or what?
So I think was it 5 or 7? So we
I
each
think we
had
did
5
7
minutes.
I think
Or
it was
7 minutes.
7.
Okay, we each had 7 minutes. So a 14 max minute.
No, I
max.
love that because on these types of strategy games,
You could
for
over-
me, it's instinct.
Yes.
When I can't make a decision, I just
Go with your gut.
Yep.
Because if
You don't
you
need
play
to sit and think
faster,
about it.
your opponent's going to get more nervous, and then
I think the second time I'm throwing my life under the bus, the joke usually is the number on the box, honey, is not the number of minutes per turn. It's the whole game. It's the whole game. I love it. But yeah, these types of games, these abstract strategy games, I am so thankful I've got nerdy engineers. My wife doesn't play these with me.
no, that's great. Number 4.
Yeah, number 4. Okay, so we are number 4. We are looking at Tiny Towns, Cascadia, Sushi Go Party, Onitama, and Machikoro as top 5. Not the 5 I expected to see.
Same.
And Jose is now inching away with the best list so far.
This has spread much
Number
much
3.
more than I thought it would.
Number 3, what do you got?
So number 3, I'm gonna bring it back to a crossover. I've got that at Santorini.
Nice.
Nice.
This I think was the first game I played here in the office to kind of start our little board game group, and that was with Alex, and it was a game I had been looking at for a few months, and Alex went, "Oh, I've got it," and I went, "Oh yeah, we're breaking this out today."
Nice.
We played it. I bought it the next day, and I've played with my dad.
Really?
I've not pushed it to my wife. She's not going to enjoy it. I know what she plays and what she doesn't. But yeah, just again, the varying god powers is just every game's just a new game.
And again, you've got the base versus the New York
Yes.
version.
Yeah, I looked up. There's like a Golden Fleece
Expansion? I thought about
I
that.
don't think it's even. I've looked. I don't
really?
think it's in print right now
Oh, dang. Okay.
because it's like $100.
Oh.
I'm not going to spend that much for a little
I
expansion.
wonder if we can find one used. But yeah,
Probably can.
I've looked up the mechanics on that. We should try that because it's obviously well liked.
Yes,
So
for
let's do that.
Yep, it's great.
My number 3. Yeah, we're gonna see some crossovers. Blue Lagoon.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, Reiner Knizia came out in 2018. So this was a reimplementation of his like Through the Desert. I had seen that. It was on my list. This was actually, for me, this was one of the prime times of when I was really buying all games. And this was actually an impulse buy. And this is the problem with impulse buys, is sometimes they actually work. And for me, this worked because it was on like an Amazon Prime Day sale or something, and it was like, oh, that one's like $10. Like it wasn't that cheap, but whatever it was, it's like that was like, it's 50% off. I gotta buy it. I'm gonna be losing money if I don't. But it's so easy, like you said. It's you're placing, like, on your turn, place one thing on there, and then you've actually got 2 Reiner games. So Scott and Totten is a Reiner Knizia game, and then this Blue Lagoon, his games, this style of his type of games is kind of the number salad or the point salad at the end. Almost everything you do can give you points.
Right.
And to me, this one is super fascinating, and the way you get good at this game is managing phase 1 and phase 2, because you probably said this already, but on phase 1, one of the things you're doing is placing these huts out, and those huts are where you're starting from phase 2. So the 2 things to really master in that game is where you're putting the huts and how many resources and what resources do you take for round 1, because all resources that you take, you lose those for phase 2.
Right.
So anyway, I love it's a very what the phrase is, like, easy to learn but a lifetime to master. I don't think this is a game that you quote unquote master, but this one definitely has that learning curve where the more you play, especially the more you play with experienced players, you start to see that depth and complexity really start to flesh itself out. Anyway.
No, yeah, and I thoroughly, I mean, going back to it, one thing I forgot to mention is with both those games, just the art.
Yes.
I'm a bit of a artist myself, and so I thoroughly enjoy games that take their time with their art and their presentation, and
it's very approachable. The table presence looks good.
It looks fun. Yes.
Yeah.
No,
all right.
for sure.
The Moana game, Blue Lagoon.
Yep. All right. My top 3, like you guys said, crossovers here. At number 3, Cascadia.
Yeah.
Yep. So just kind of revisiting some of those points there. It's a great game. I'll kick it off with the art itself. I love the art, the nature theme. Went well with the girlfriend. She thoroughly liked it. She was OCD about the environments.
She didn't wanting to have the
She actually tossed 2 animals.
No way.
So that she could have.
That's a strategy, though.
It is.
Did it work well for her?
It did. She was within 10 points,
dude.
And I was not taking it easy on her.
Good.
So, but no, it was a great game in that regard. In terms of, I also like to play sports, so in terms of sports, I would very much consider this like a golf game. You're playing against yourself, but you're also playing against others. You yourself can really only affect what you do and how good you do. And I love that mindset. It's very peaceful. I mean, when we play wilderness sounds,
music in the background.
Music in the background. You got to. I mean, again, it's one of those games that I can step away from work, come in here, relax, have a good time, kick butt, and then go back.
Kick butt. Yeah, right. Where are we at? So the top 3, we have Cascadia, Santorini, Tiny Towns, Blue Lagoon, and Sushi Go Party. These are kind of the games that I kind of expected to see up there. I like it.
Starting to
flesh out
a little bit.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2, I guarantee someone else has this on their list because they've, so number 2 for me is For Sale.
Okay.
So For Sale's a bidding game. So there's two phases. You'll start with a certain amount of money. You'll pay for different houses that are numbered 1 through 30. Once you'll spend all your money bidding. I think it's 5 or 6 times. You'll get your houses. Then the second phase is you're selling your houses for money that's 0 through 15, with each number basically out there twice. So 2 zeros, 2 15s. It's a game that I feel like there's strategy, but it also feels like a little bit of luck. I mean, you can kind of read the room and tell, I think someone's going to play a real low card here. So there's always the opportunity where a 0's out and a 15's out. So people are overspending, or maybe like a 0 and a 10. So someone's overpaying for that 10 because they don't want the 0. Yeah, just a great
For sale.
bidding game.
So it's a relative bidding game.
Yes,
like you
yeah,
said,
there's the term,
it's
yeah.
like like you said, if that 0 comes out, somebody's overpaying. If that 15 comes out, then I don't know. Yeah. I have never had this game fail for me. We talk about different dynamics of different people joining in. I don't know if I've ever introduced this to a group, and I'm trying to introduce games that would go well, but I think this is one of my most flexible games. Meaning I could get it to any group. This goes well with my family. This goes well with the engineers here.
Yep.
Yeah, for sale.
Yeah.
It's a nice tip of the toes into gambling.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Betting. I think as a mechanic is really underrated. I'm actually to talk about games that aren't on our list, but Raw is another Reiner Knizia game, but it's a betting game that I backed the Kickstarter. Or I guess backed the Game Found, but that should be coming within the next few months. Super excited to play that here. I think that will do really well. That betting mechanic, I think goes well. Yeah. So my number 2. Cascadia, three-way. So yeah, everything you mentioned, the art. So that's Beth Sobel. So she's really known for that natural art. I think she did the art for Wingspan as well. Did you play that game?
I have not.
Okay.
It's on
it's
sale
all
right
the
now on
birds.
Amazon.
Just saying.
It's like
Just
40%
saying.
off.
I'll get you an affiliate link. Yeah, Cascadia. Everybody said it. This is a game that it doesn't feel restrictive, which you guys were already saying. So it's this puzzle on top of a puzzle. So we talked about the flexibility with the different cards. So the foxes, which I don't know why the foxes are the
just throw
worst.
those away.
Give me one game where the foxes. I want foxes.
Man, it's killer.
Man, this game. I feel like this game wants an expansion, and I've heard people say,
How does it not have one yet?
Yeah,
Simple, just add more cards.
I know, different. Well, but at the same time, then you have then you have tiles that don't have the possible more cards.
Like,
yes.
Yeah,
same animals. It could be as simple as same animals, different scoring patterns.
Yeah.
Or you could, this was North America. Hit me with some Asia.
Dude,
Yeah, exactly. That's the
let's
thing.
go.
Some tigers.
Yeah, I'm in. I am all the way in. The one thing. Okay, we can't say good things about everything. For me, I wish the tokens had the animals on both sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when I'm pulling it out,
there's
we're
the
always
art.
flipping them over.
What I've been trying to do is on the animals is I actually want 3D printed animals. How cool would that be?
I've seen them on Etsy.
That
I've seen them
would
on
be
Etsy.
3D printed animals.
Yes.
I mean, it's just the tactileness.
Fill
of
the
it.
bag a little more.
We got to do a whole video about how to, maybe we will. Maybe we'll like geek out our games or pimp out our games. We'll see. But yeah, my number 2, Cascadia, three-way tie.
Awesome. So for my number 2, didn't make any of your guys' list. But Splendor Marvel.
Nice.
It was close.
If I hadn't gotten Splendor Marvel, I think Splendor would have been up there regardless.
Okay.
But like you said previously, I mean, it's just a fun game. It's goes well with everybody. Now, why I chose Marvel over the base game?
Yeah.
Probably
just-
the theme, right?
Well, part of it was the theme for sure, the art. Huge Marvel person. But the extra winning conditions did it for me.
Yes.
There
that's
was some
That is
complexity
nice.
that was missing for me. Like Splendor is fun and go to, but it just needed
Missing.
something
Yeah.
else.
Remind me what those extra ones are.
So the extra winning
If you have,
conditions,
go ahead.
you needed an extra gem, so you need to collect all
Oh, you meaning in order to win, there is extra parameters
You have
in order to win.
The green, the
Right.
soulstone, or
That's
whatever.
right. That's right.
Yep. And then, like Sean mentioned, not liking the Avenger token.
Yeah.
I think that just added so much more complexity of what you wanted to get. And man, I just love the art. I love the fact that they related the theme of the higher cards with the higher tier Marvel characters, more powerful, if you will. To me, it was good. I can't wait to play it again.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
I'm not going to add too much to that, but it was so fascinating, the difference between Splendor and Splendor Marvel, the value of the cards that were different. So it's like, are you going for those? I'm looking at this one, I want to get this one, but then this one flips out and it's a double Avenger. How do you not go for that one?
Right.
Right? Well, I gotta go for that one because if I don't, then you're gonna go for that, and then you're gonna beat me on the like this interesting dynamic shift or twist of what was valued differently.
Correct.
Super interesting.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, we
gotta get this to the
play that
table
one
again.
for sure. we'll go through the list and just play all the
Yeah.
top 10 right here.
All right, yeah. So we're going into our number ones with
Number one.
Cascadia, Santorini, Tiny Towns for Sale, and Splendor Marvel. I love it.
I'll be
I love it.
surprised
Yeah.
if my number one is on your list.
What?
Now that we've actually gone through it all.
No way, really?
So, number one for me is Arboretum.
All right.
So Arboretum is a card game. You are building your arboretum with different tree species, placing it in front of you,
Okay.
trying to score, depending on the player count, a certain amount of different tree species. The scoring game, or the scoring aspect of this game, is what gets me. So you could have, let's say you've got a run of 2 through 7 of the purple tree species. I think they're called Jaipur tree species, actually. And then you've got the 8 in your hand, and then let's say Alex has the 1 in his hand. The scoring in this game is whoever has the most of that tree species has the ability to score that card. But if you have the 8 and someone has the 1, your 8 means nothing.
Yeah.
So
Negates it.
it's a great kind of twist on, I've got 8 and I've got 2 through 7. There's no way.
Who publishes, and do you know the publisher and designer on
So
this
the
one?
publisher is Renegade
That's
Game
right.
Studio, and then the designer is Dan Caesar.
Okay.
Or Kazar.
I'd
I'm not quite
curious
sure.
if he did any of the. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked into his other games, but as I went through this list, I'll probably look into him because Arboretum just. Every time we've got it out, it's just such a thinky game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're planning 5 moves ahead. You're also trying to block other people's ability to score on trees.
Yeah, one of the things that I love about board games is the ability to tie in difficult decisions, and I feel like that's the game.
Every turn
you've got
is
like
just,
6 cards, and it's like, man, I can't give this up, but I got to give this up, but I need to keep this one. But if I give this one up, I know you're going to get it, and that's going to help you. So how much do I want to help me but hurt you and balance that
I
out?
love it. Every
Yeah, it's
turn
awesome.
is just excruciating.
I don't know if I've won this game. I think I stink at this game
I
too.
think Jose and I have only
Yeah,
one. But
I'm not very good, and it's not on my list. It is
No,
not my
that's
number
fair.
one.
I
That was actually number 11 for me.
Really?
So right out of
Nice.
the top
Yeah, I
10.
just-
Love the art too.
Dude,
Yep,
it's
they
so
are.
good.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
It just
good.
has a great table presence.
Just make sure we play with the right number of species of trees.
Yes, we messed that up.
Yeah,
I messed that up once.
that's all good. All right.
And a little bit
Yep.
more on that. Just the aspect of which I think we've both done a couple of times of basically getting the perfect run where you have you just have the
So
2
satisfying.
numbers and then all the other numbers you have on your board.
it's so
satisfying.
Yeah, I wish I could feel that. I really do. I haven't experienced that yet. Maybe it would hit my list if I did. It's tough. All right. Number one. My number one is For Sale.
Yep,
Yeah.
saw that coming.
Yeah. It's to me, it's so good. Oh, did we bring? Oh, we didn't.
Oh
pull it out.
yeah. If
number
we're
one.
pulling out physical copies, I do have.
Yeah.
Here's
Arboretum.
Stack them side by side. Man.
Fantastic. My number one is For Sale. It is it is my go-to game for getting people introduced to board gaming. The betting aspect, I can literally teach this game as we play it, and this is one of the perfect games where once you see a game played out, you're ready to play again. You get the mechanics, and it's almost like, all right, let's play for real. So this is one of those games you play as you teach. Boom. All right, you ready? Sweet. Let's put them up again, pass them back out. Let's play again.
Yep.
We have tried the expansion.
Yeah, I almost brought that up, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to muddy the waters.
Yeah, we've played the expansion. I think for me, that's a fun expansion, and it's fun to play every once in a while. But for me, the base game is far and away the best game. It's the oldest game on my list. It was back in '97.
Yeah, it's an old game.
But yeah, the betting mechanic, super easy. There's a travel version which is just super small. I've actually built inserts, which is another video I want to do, is just show like the inserts to our games because we like to build inserts and fun stuff. But
pretty fun.
For Sale, number one game.
I'm pretty sure you guys
I
can
know
guess
yours.
Yeah, I
saw you bring
I
it
saw
up.
it.
All right, that'll just hook me up to maybe win this thing.
Santorini.
Ooh, you got it. Look at it. Look at it.
That's a beautiful game.
So just what not to say about Santorini, man. I love it. So you can probably see from my top 10 list, I love great strategy, puzzle games, 2v2 preferred. And Santorini just has everything I would want in a game. The theme of mythology and the powers.
Yeah.
That does it for me. The art, and then the fact that I'm still undefeated. So you guys want to swing by? You want to swing by and take a shot?
Oh, we're taking shots.
Let's go. We gotta get this to the table again.
But no,
I'm canceling my meeting. We're playing right now.
It's a great game. Love it. Just like you said before, the aspect of I have it, and then no, I don't.
Yeah.
It's great feeling that on the other side when you have them, and they don't know it.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I wish I knew what that felt
I've
like.
not experienced that against
No,
you.
but it's definitely one of the games. Again, back to video games that I enjoy. Gets the blood pumping.
Yeah.
Santorini was one of the first games that made my heart race,
Nice.
and I was
Oh,
getting
yeah.
sweaty,
Dude,
and
I
I
get
was like,
nervous playing.
I hope
I am like shaking a little. Like, oh, come on.
I hope they don't know what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
hope this hits. It's just
It makes you feel
great.
clever when you get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, when you pull it off, the dopamine release.
Yeah.
Not to get scientific here, but
Yeah.
I'm ready to go back to work after
Yeah,
something
man.
like that.
Yeah, it feels good. It's refreshing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So our combined list, we'll see this on the screen when we edit, but Cascadia, number 1. Santorini for sale. Tiny Towns, Arboretum, Splendor Marvel, because you ranked it so high. Blue Lagoon, Sushi Go Party, Onitama, and Machikoro 2. Makes sense. Any thoughts on the combined list? There's some that I didn't expect.
I pulled Arboretum in there just because it was my number 1. So
Yeah,
I feel
that's-
a little guilty about it.
No, that's why we weighed him the way we did. I mean, Splendor Marvel is pulled in there because it's his number 2. That's what this is. And so the overall, Sean gets the best list with 93, almost 94 points. And then I myself and Jose has the worst list of all of us. You can win games, but you can't win the lists.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts? Any closing thoughts? Any things that you're excited to play? I mean, we talked about it. Stuff that we're excited to play this next year. We got to hit all of these. I want to do.
Azul.
Yeah, we got to hit Azul for sure. What number was
Fog.
that?
Yeah, we need to get Unmatched back out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get those out here. But no, the other thing I'm excited about is just continuing this. And,
Yes.
sharing our experiences
Yep.
and hopefully getting a lot more videos out there about all the
I've got
different
some
things we
ideas
do.
already.
Yeah, this is so much. This is a blast. I really liked prepping for this. There's a weird balance. It feels like for us doing something like this. I want to play the same game over and over again. We want to get these games out again, but I love playing new games.
Yeah.
I want to play this new game that I haven't heard about.
That's why Voyages didn't hit my top 10 is we played it for like 2 weeks straight
Yes.
and it kind of just tanked it.
Yeah.
Just for me. I like a variety.
Man,
so.
see that's what secured it for me. Playing it so frequently and it's like, oh man, I can really start to dive into
Yeah,
it.
There's also other longer games that
Yes.
I think between the three of us could fit in, like Ankh or
Yeah.
possibly what's the tree game?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Ooh, so there's a game we can just dive into
Evergreen?
it. Evergreen. Yeah, you saw it. So it's
I've
the same
almost-
designer. I
it
almost pulled the
looks
trigger on it a couple
really-
times. So Evergreen is by the same designer, and it tweaks a few different things. And everything that I read about it says that's the best. It's like the
It's like
Arboretum
improved
killer or the
photosynthesis,
photosynthesis killer.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, we need
Yeah,
to.
we'll have to.
I am excited to see what this next year holds.
too.
Our goal is at least 100 plays, and we're probably
We're at
4 or 5
7,
plays. Yeah.
Or maybe, yeah.
As
maybe
time
more like 4 or
allows,
5, so.
we're gonna hit a few without you this week. So,
Yeah, this week will be kind of sad for me.
all right. Any other
That's
wrap up thoughts?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
for watching.
Thanks for watching.